Man, even more pros are jumping ship. You ready to run and gun? It's time for blast off. Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here with you. Welcome back to Bassin 101. Truck Talk 101 gossip. It's not gossip. But more pros are jumping ship, guys. A couple of them, I think, were already signed up for the NPFL. I think Charlie Ingram was already there. But for any of you old school guys that might know some of these names, Charlie Ingram is going to the NPFL. David Fritz, Mr. Crankbait himself, has gone to the NPFL. I guess he came out of his retirement, if you want to call it retirement. Hank Cherry, James Watson. That to me is a big FU to Boyd Duckett and his MLF, because he's still suspended through next year, 2025, over nothing. You know, compared to what they're getting away with now. But I find that really interesting. Oh, another name that has jumped ship. The Hack Attack, Greg Hackney. He's jumped ship. Now, I'm not saying that they probably won't still fish the BASS Elite or maybe even the MLF in between or whatever. I do know that it's impossible for the pros to fish both MLF and BASS because they pretty much schedule intentionally. They schedule their tournaments about the same time. That's dumb. But we expect. All about the money, man. Money, 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 money. Anyway, that's as far as I'll sing. So hopefully the NPFL won't schedule their stuff in with that either, so that if these guys actually want to fish other circuits, they can. But I find that really interesting. Look at Greg Hackney's style of fishing. You know, I guarantee you he's not happy with the video games, because it's just not his style. Not that he doesn't want to learn it. It's just not his style. You know, David Fritz is not a fan of it. He says he just can't get used to that. And I don't blame him. Fritz has got his own way of triangulating things and everything else, and that works for him. So leave the man alone. Let him fish. You know, Ingram, same way. He's an old school feller. You know, Hank Cherry is, I don't know if I consider him old school, but he's up there in age a little bit. So I think that's just kind of interesting to see who's next. Who's going to be next to jump ship? And it's interesting that it's these guys. Think about this. Now, I've also heard, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw Kyle Welcher's name on there, which I could take it or leave it, because I'll tell you right now, I am not a fan of him. He has made fun of old school enough times that I've seen on YouTube. I don't think much of that guy. That's the KW I refer to over the years in my videos. But who else is who's going to join? You don't see the young guns jumping ship and going to NPFL. No, they're used to their umbilical cord. Can't take them off there; they'll starve. They ain't got that video game in front of them, and that's sad. That is really sad. You know, not learning techniques anymore, not learning worm shapes versus worm styles and different kinds of cover for vibration purposes, the shading of the worm, why you dye stuff here and there, things like that. These guys don't learn this stuff. You know, the actions of different types of crankbaits and why it matters. They just have their little bitty box. It's got the few little baits in it, and that's what I'll throw with my video game. And I'm sorry, it's getting to the point now to where, I know I wasn't a huge instigator about it, but I'm going to tell you guys, man, it's with the NPFL growing the way it is. They don't have a full lineup yet. I think they're looking for 120, and they're like halfway there or something like that, maybe. But I'm really curious to see what happens with that NPFL. And it'd be nice to actually see guys fish with their talent and what they've learned. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. But fishing has come to that. But it's going to be nice to actually see fishermen utilize their talent and their knowledge. Can't believe I'm saying that. That was just an automatic up to just a few years ago. But this is going to be interesting. If this takes off, I'm sure, and I'll guarantee you something here. Bait companies, the big name bait companies, I wonder how many are already starting to think about sponsoring things in the NPFL. Because I'm going to tell you what, guys, they've been hurting. Big bait companies have been hurting. The reason is because everything's taken off with video games. And if you don't get on the bandwagon and start making baits for them, you're not going to stay alive very long. What do you guys think? I mean, have you guys heard about any of this? I'm just kind of finding this out. Unfortunately, this video isn't coming out till the time that you're seeing it. But, so it might be old news by then. Everything I got scheduled for a reason. But, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about that? And will we see some of the older pros come out of retirement? That's going to be interesting. I don't see Larry doing it, Larry Nixon. I don't see him come out of retirement. I mean, I think he's enjoying being laid back too much. And I like watching his shorts that he does now, especially on Instagram, because it just reminds me of watching his TV show back in the mid-late 90s. So that's kind of cool. He hasn't lost that touch. That's pretty cool. I like that. But who knows? Maybe Rick Clunn might fish some of it. All he knows is fishing. So this is going to be an interesting little ride to see what happens. I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. So until next time, remember, new techniques are trendy, but bass never change. May the Father bless you and keep you in Yeshua's name. And as always, fish on.